Hello, hello, beautiful people. Mi gente
Hello.
bella. Hi. Welcome to another edition of Santana Says, where we talk about everything from roadblocks to relationships, everything in between, and the overall journey of life. I am excited, as always, to bring you another edition of the show, but we now have a guest. We're excited, y'all. Get into it. And y'all know I always bring on people that I'm a fan of, so listen. I am super excited. But it also, insert sound here. It is Hispanic Heritage Month, so as y'all heard, I am super excited. On the mental health side, it is also Suicide Prevention Month, so we have, two dual things that we're discussing and wanting to bring acknowledgement to. But I am definitely excited because, listen, if we're gonna talk about Hispanic Heritage Month, Latinidad, and, just like different things we can do, like different organizations we can support and efforts that we can be behind, this lovely individual is gonna tell you all about that, and we go way back.
We really do.
We do,
We
baby
really
organizers. Exactly. So, but before we even get into that, could you tell the lovely people a little bit about you, who you are, a little bit about what brought you here today?
Yeah, my pleasure.
Yes.
I'm C. Stonebreaker Martinez.
Wonderful.
I'm the co-director of an organization here in Cleveland called the Interreligious Task Force
Dope.
on Central America and Colombia, or IRTF Cleveland for
Yes.
short. And I have been so lucky to have been friends with you for half of my life.
That's crazy. It is crazy to say that now. It sounds old, like we're old.
A little bit.
Just a smidge.
We're
smidge.
just middle-aged,
That's
not
right.
old.
That's true. That is true.
But Melissa and I met in college at Hiram.
At Hiram.
Back in the day.
Back in the day.
And I feel really grateful to have accompanied life with you,
Yes.
like
Amen.
each other's journeys.
Right.
We've been like in very similar circles,
Right.
and
Yep.
orbiting each other for a really long time, and just
Orbiting
feel
is the right
really
word.
grateful that we can support each other and like
Absolutely.
witness each other's, path and journey.
That part. The orbiting is such a perfect way to say it. Yes. No, because agreed. And I think what I've been learning, by the way, is that like I do love like how much richer our city, is becoming, all the like vibrant things that are happening and all these movements that are forming. But yes, agreed. So like whenever we can intersect, it is
Yeah.
always great. Unlike Hiram though, because at Hiram we intersected all the time.
Because
It was easier. It was.
but there are also like 30 Latinos.
No, it really was. It truly was.
So we had to stick together.
No, but like we really did though. Exactly. And it was a totally different time because like, okay, so shout out to Hiram because it was a great place.
Yes.
I did not have
had an amazing
no,
experience.
I really did too. I agree. Like I feel
We
like
had like 12% international students.
we did.
And we had like a plurality of historically marginalized first generation students
Right.
at the time that we were going. And that was
that's
really
like
beautiful.
remarkable.
Yeah,
Yes. And I agree. I still talk to my good friend Kelly to this day. You know what I'm saying? From Ghana.
Yeah.
I thought it was like hot stuff. I'm like, I know someone from Ghana, y'all. So like, but also like I thought she was cool no matter what. But then come to find out she actually was like royalty.
Really cool.
Yeah, I was like, I thought she just called herself princess, like just to be funny. I was like, yeah, princess, whatever. But then I'm like, oh wait, you're like hot stuff over there. Okay, so like this is actually important. But it was really, really tremendously awesome. And I just feel like that diversity was unmatched.
Yeah.
It like truly was. And I definitely think it was really cool. Oh, and then like what is the talent show? They had
The Intercultural Forum.
Yes,
Yeah,
that was
so
super cool.
beautiful.
That was.
We
that
would
was.
have like 400 people, like a third of the campus.
Yes.
Would come to this
Right.
event that celebrated everyone's cultures.
Right.
And like foods and dance and art.
Exactly.
And it was just...
Oh, it was such a good time. And then it was so cool to be a part of other cultures. So like,
Yeah.
also as participants, because of course
Right.
now, again, as y'all heard, it's small. So like, you definitely had people doing like 3-4 acts.
Yeah.
I remember that. I remember I was in Soya's.
We were in the step club.
Yes. Hello. Yes. Exactly. And I remember being in Soya's like Japanese, you know what I mean, dance. I remember that little like step. I'm telling you, I still remember it. And I got the videos, I remember them fondly.
Yeah.
But it was such a cool way to like learn about other things and also celebrate them
Yeah.
while also being part of like this really cool thing. Like, come on. But it was, and there was a fashion show.
Yeah.
So like you could also see like all these like, the regalia, all the like clothing that like you could wear. But then on top of that, after that, they also had the food was unmatched. And so you had that also, and then you had all these acts. So like really, I haven't had anything like that. You know what I mean? That's
No,
like,
it was really magical.
you know what I'm saying? That we could actually have, like, for sure. And I will say that Hiram was the really fun time with Ola. So that was our...
Yeah, so we founded, Melissa had the idea, but us us and our friends, we founded the first Hispanic serving organization on campus.
Oh, yeah.
Called Hola.
Yep.
Almost 20 years ago.
Yo, but that's what I'm saying. It's crazy.
And it was amazing because we got to learn from other trailblazers.
Yep.
Absolutely. And my path directly was influenced by what we did during those years. And
I love that.
I didn't found my organization. It's 45 years old, but I found out about my organization in college as a student, and really brought in all of those learnings to the work that I do now.
Oh gosh, I love that. And actually, that was the same for me though. I will say that without it, it just kind of provided this perfect platform to really like find out about stuff. I didn't realize, now though, I will say I didn't even know about the Ola in Painesville that we have.
Yeah, me neither.
I just still didn't, yeah. Now in college,
I
didn't know about it
if
either.
they were a big thing though, almost 20
during
years
our time.
ago.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly. To keep saying that is wild. Because like 20 is crazy. But then the fact that we were in college 20 years ago is even wilder.
That's weird.
It is. It's like weird to say. And I remember like it was yesterday, but it was a lifetime ago. Like a mini lifetime.
When I turned 36, I was like,
ooh.
I'm farther away from 18 than I ever will be closer to it. And
That's
I'm like,
so true.
That's wrong because
That
it was
is.
yesterday.
Exactly. You are wrong.
Maybe we say the
right.
same things generationally. Like everybody grows up and they're like, their head
Yeah.
is spinning like, what? How did I get here?
No, but it's so true. I know. And I didn't understand it when people said it, but I'm like, this is weird to be in this space. And I also think it's interesting because I'm starting to get some friends that are younger. Mm-hmm. So yes, we know Pierre Heard, for example. But the girl is in her 20s. So like, I was like, wait, that's kind of wild.
But I learned so much from my younger mentors. Like, what I like to say is that they have wisdom from the future, that they're closer to the future than I will ever be as long as the circle of life goes according to plan. And so we have so much to learn from each other, you know? It's really beautiful.
Exactly. And we should never like count that out. And also it's just fresh because sometimes, unfortunately, it can get hard to stay like, to not be jaded by everything that goes on. You know? And I'm sure we've met some individuals, and I don't even know that they do it intentionally, but it's just, you do the work for so long.
Some of us don't realize when we're in a like trauma moment or a spiral, a season of stress.
Right.
And now everything is a season of stress.
Oh my gosh. Can we get
I don't
into
know
that?
about you, but I felt like during the pandemic, the beginning of the pandemic in 2020, and since then, that like really that was like a huge generational shift too. We lost so many of our elders, so many of us had to really like step up maybe a little bit sooner than some of our peers or other elders had to. But.
Right, absolutely. Yeah, and I think, and it's something we didn't prepare for though too. Like we didn't know that it was coming. And
no, it just comes.
That's what I'm saying. And that's true.
Like I'm the adultiest adult in the room.
Exactly. When did that happen? Somebody call somebody else. But yeah, and actually I didn't realize like until you said that is true. Because unfortunately too, it did cause a lot more illnesses, like to spread and be amplified. Yeah. And so it did accelerate the timeline. So like I don't even think I sat to realize that it is true. Like whenever we lose elders, period, it's like such a loss that we have because there's so much wisdom that goes with them, so many stories.
I think our culture too really venerates our elders, and we have indigenous spiritual practices that mixed with Christian practices, Muslim practices, Jewish practices, all different types of practices that really celebrate our ancestors. Right. And I think that we have like we place a real importance on that. And that's something that I'm really proud of. Yes. About our communities.
No, I agree though, because we should never. I definitely think, and that's why it's a little interesting for me to grow up with these new generations, because I don't know that I always see respect for the elders as much as I would like to. Like I think some young people are great about it. But I definitely have seen it play out, especially working in the high school where like they don't always understand that. But I definitely think it's a value that we should not lose.
But isn't it on us to teach?
Right. Part.
And also like, not all elders deserve our respect.
I mean,
unfortunately.
That is true.
Right?
That is
like
true.
we should have this deference and also like
Good point.
Energy matching energy.
Yeah, no. But yeah, definitely true story. No, you are absolutely correct. And actually that is true because that was something I was recently saying was that we've gone over like trauma, you know what I mean, how it shows up. And unfortunately, some young people are, as they were hearing what an unhealthy relationship looks like, they're like, oh, I have that with my parents. Like, you know what I mean? Some of them are going to call it out.
Yeah.
You know, so like, it's true. It does happen in our families also. But and we should, right. So like where it should be definitely given, we should, you know what I mean, so we do that. But unfortunately, hurt also has gotten passed down. So like, you know, we don't want to like fail to recognize that either. But you definitely did bring up a good point. You know what I'm saying with that? And so that is true. Pandemic definitely shifted a lot.
It shifted a lot.
It did. And actually, I also think what's interesting, and it's funny because I thought you were going to say that, but not that you needed to, but it's like our level of stress, I actually would say I feel more stressed now, actually, than I did in the pandemic. Like, I think the pandemic was...
Me too.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because if anything, it was stressful. You know what I'm saying? Like, having to deal with that, but it slowed us down.
Right. That was beautiful.
It was.
And helpful to, like... teach people that they need to regulate their nervous system.
I mean, are you serious? Exactly. I still need to. You know what I mean? I'm still catching up, right? With that. But it's like, but 2025.
Woo!
That is...
Here we are.
It's a year. And man, it's always been something, though. Like,
every single day. Every single day.
So yes, because I did recently have a solo episode, and I definitely wanted to, you know, pay homage to all the different things that are going on. But yeah, politically speaking, it is not. I just think it's just not a fun time, you know, like, I guess...
We are definitely living in interesting times.
Right, and I just think it is kind of difficult, like, there's no way that we can, like, be in this work and, like, ignore that. Yeah. So, like, and I have said it, I've definitely said that, like, even as a podcaster, I'm not a political commentator, or I wouldn't pretend to be, because I don't invade those spaces, and I do love that we have friends, however, that have beautifully entered those...
I sort of, like... dabble.
Right, exactly. Like, get your feet.
I'm more of a grassroots person, but you have to pay attention to what's going on.
Exactly, because that's my only thing too, is that's how I felt. I was like, you know what, at my core, I'm an advocate. You know what I'm saying? And I know what I do, and I know what I stand for. But I am gonna invade political spheres. Like, there's no way I'm gonna avoid that. And I need to be informed about it at best. Yeah. You know what I mean? And know how. And how do I advocate for others if I don't know politically what is taking place? And so, like, I agree, but then it's been a bit exhausting.
Like, informing ourselves is really important.
Correct.
Participatory democracy requires participation. And also, so like we all have to take responsibility. And also, like, it's so overwhelming. It's designed to be overwhelming. It's designed to make us confused so that we feel like so overwhelmed that we don't want to do anything, or that we can't, or that we're too, you know, I got these 2 jobs, I got these 2 babies, that's all I can handle right now.
Exactly. Add on another thing, please.
Yeah, right.
And I agree, and I think the word that came to mind was like defeated. You know what I mean? So I do feel like it kind of sets us up to feel that way. And I already despise when I come across a person who feels like, you know what I mean? Unfortunately, they have nothing left. Although I definitely don't judge them for it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, I don't blame you. You know what I mean? When all these things are meant to like push us in so many directions. And those of us who do this work, we are spread thin.
Yeah, we are.
You know, so like, we definitely got to learn like balance for sure, because it can also run us dry. You know what I mean? Because, and you've done it for a while.
It's been a long while.
I am saying.
A third of my life.
Exactly. So like, and then that's the thing. I remember us talking about like, so speaking of college, so yes, we did graduate from college. We were all trying to figure it out. I remember those days. We were like, what are we going to do? You know what I mean?
We're first generation. None of my parents and grandparents went to college.
Come on, that
Only
part.
one of them had a high school diploma.
Come on. Wow.
And I was like, this is supposed to be the way. I'm supposed to take care of my elders.
Right. You know what I'm saying? Right. But how do I do that? Like, come on, we struggling together, y'all. Right. No, and it was true. And so, there was no guidebook. You know what I'm saying? There was no one helping us out. And employment. Where the heck did we look? You know what I mean? Like,
we graduated at the beginning of a Great Recession.
Yeah.
Like, it was
not a fan, 0 stars.
Not an easy time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, I agree. So I do remember that. I remember being like, I think at the time, I even remember at one point I had a connection with Esperanza. And so like we had that.
Oh,
but,
yeah. We've had this beautiful organization in our community for so long that continues.
Oh,
Esperanza is one we definitely want to shout out, that continues to make it easier for first generation Latina students to really succeed in whatever they want to do after they graduate from high school, and to really lift our communities up together.
Right. Because that's the other thing. We can still count how many Latina individuals even have like higher educational degrees, which is obviously lets us know that they need resources, you know what I'm saying, to be able to get to that point. And so I agree. I think that was one of the things that was always remarkable to me. They're definitely like a pillar in our, in our community, just like Cuyahoga Community Colleges, you know what I mean? Like Esperanza is definitely well known. I love that. And I love that they've adapted. Yeah. They have certainly like learned to how to expand, infiltrate new spaces. They've grown. They like almost are taking over the building now that they're in. I was like, oh, look how cool y'all got multiple floors. You know what I mean? They're doing their thing. But it was that. I definitely was like, ooh, post-secondary opportunities. How can we do that? Because we, barely made it. You know what I mean? I know myself. I was like trying to figure out how to get that
I'm still trying to figure it out.
You feel me? But you feel me. Exactly. So like we barely made it through. But we did.
We're still making it. We're treading water sometimes.
Exactly. I know y'all look and think that it's just easy, but we promise there is a lot behind what we do. But I agree. And I remember like I was there, but I remember back in the day, I don't even know if you remember, we were like sitting and having a meal together or whatever. We went out to eat, but we were trying to figure out like, next moves, what we were going to do. And I remember like being in Esperanza, but not having a lot of pool there, because I like was also trying to just figure it out. But I remember thinking that I wanted to send you more contacts, like whatever I had, but you ended up finding your own incredible contact and like finding a beautiful home in IRTF and doing this incredible work. So I'm curious, how did you find it?
Well, it's
other
funny.
than like you said in college,
Yeah, well, there are a couple of things in college. IRTF has had this relationship with a German Holocaust reconciliation program for over 20 years. And it was started by resistors who felt like they still didn't do enough to end the genocide that occurred and the war, and so they wanted to atone. And this was a way, the fellowship was a way for people to avoid conscription or mandatory military service. Okay. So people could either do a year of military service or a year and a half of civil service. Okay. And so they created all of these partnerships with different nonprofits. And our organization made this relationship over 25 years ago with the group. And one of those fellows went to school with us, Elisa Breedendiek.
Oh, nice. Yes.
And we worked together on creating a fair trade store at Hiram.
Let's go.
With the campus ministry office and like the sustainability office and the civic engagement office and whoever would give us $500,
Right. Yeah, exactly. We'll take it. Let me get that dollar.
And the fact that she had been to Columbia, she was like the only person on campus who knew where Columbia was on a map.
Yeah,
I was like,
exactly.
Oh my gosh, please be friends with me.
Right.
Like,
exactly.
I'm a Colombian stuck in Ohio. How do I deal with this?
Poor baby, by the way. Sorry for you. But yeah, true story.
You have a beautiful Puerto Rican community.
Oh no. But I agree.
You understand.
Yes, exactly. We were displaced because this ain't it.
Diaspora is hard. Like I think of Jamila Woods like, just because I'm born here, don't mean I'm from here.
Yeah, get it right. But that's true, though.
But we started this fair trade store together with one of the IRTF co-directors, the former co-directors. And I was like really impressed. And then Elisa brought all of these amazing things on campus, like the maquiladores presentations with the bracero workers, the farm workers in Southwest U.S. and all this stuff. And I learned about the School of the Americas in Fort Benning, Georgia, and the fact that the U.S. military at this point now has trained police and military from Latin America. Over 84,000 people have been trained by the U.S. in civilian targeted warfare, what's called counterinsurgency. And I was like, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, no, crazy.
So our campus minister organized a trip to go to Vigil at the School of the Americas, and I signed up to go, and I thought that I was going just with Hiram students, but actually they were working with IRTF and all of the colleges in Northeast Ohio. So there were like people from Worcester and John Carroll and all over the place, and that was really an amazing experience. And meeting hundreds of people who cared about Colombia and human rights defenders in Colombia, the reason why my family is part of the diaspora, these types of things just like really started to break me open. And I wouldn't call myself an organizer and an activist for many, many more years.
Right.
Even having been to, a few protests and being an advocate, knowing, where I stand and whatnot. And I just stayed on IRTF's radar. And after finishing college and then working at Kent State University for a few years, I moved to Cleveland and I started volunteering again at IRTF. And I was like, hey, I've been on your mailing list for 6 or 8 years.
You're right, exactly.
And, here I am. What can I do? And when I showed up, luckily for me, my predecessor was like, hey, I want to move to Columbia full time.
Wow.
So we're going to be looking for a new co-director. And I'm like, might be me.
Yeah, really? Yes.
And so they checked me out for a long time, like half a year. And
wow,
I became the co-director when I was like 24 years old, which is
that's
also
incredible.
wild.
No, it is.
After also being like,
that's incredible.
Unemployed for over a year.
Hello? You feel me?
Like,
struggle is real.
Going from that to that was wild. And
right.
But so much of my politics, like the way that I organize are informed by IRTF.
Exactly.
The like anti-militarism, the radical community, radical hospitality, beloved, ways of moving and being, really liberation focused, solidarity over charity, that sort of thing has like been so life-giving. They gave me words to feelings that I had that I never knew I could find language for.
Oh gosh, yes, exactly. I love everything about that. And I just think what I also was moved by was the fact that, and before you even knew that that was an opportunity, you were already letting them know how important you found it to serve, and you were ready to just be a volunteer. Like, what I mean? I just love what you all do so much that I want to support it any way that I can. But like, I'm sure, what I mean, you had no idea that it could lead to anything else. But you didn't even need it to.
No,
right?
I mean, I needed a job eventually, but the fact that
exactly.
I do feel like I remember frequently that even though this work is very overwhelming, we do a lot of migrant mutual aid work, especially in this season of politics, as we're talking about. We're engaged in court watching. We're engaged in, community defense work. We're engaged in mutual aid, getting people food and hygiene products when their family members are detained, stuff like that. It's heavy. Yeah. But it's also a privilege.
Correct.
And we have to find that balance, as you say, like we really have to take care of ourselves to be able to hold the heaviness of that. But I would much rather live with eyes wide open than shut.
That part. And so like, I think it's funny because the sentiment sometimes is that I think individuals see the work we do and think that like, I don't know how you're able to like sleep after that or like, be able to rest, period.
But it's our family.
Like, correct. Like one piece is exactly like, I mean, I'd feel worse, what I'm saying? Of course, like not including.
If I didn't do it.
That part.
Yeah.
And that's why I feel like my challenge back is that I actually sleep better, y'all. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I'm able to rest more fully because I know that I'm doing like actually something.
Everything I can. I did everything I can. And if everybody did everything we can, we'd be in a better situation.
And that's exactly it. So I think, unfortunately, the weight still feels heavy because not enough individuals are helping to pull, you know what I mean? And so, like, it is going to feel heavy when it's like that, you know what I mean, when you don't have enough. But I agree. I think the motto that has been set at IRTF is exemplary. You know what I'm saying? Abso-freaking-lutely. And now all I've ever known is you co-directing it. But I do love to know that, of course, it was definitely this robust organization even before you arrived.
Yeah.
But that you appreciated it from, all angles before you even, ran it. Yeah. And actually, I think that's actually the coolest thing to me. So like, cause even now my new employer is Beachbrook. And I think what I heard was that the executive director was like, he used to be a volunteer as well or whatever. And I think those are the coolest stories to me. You know what I mean? Like, I think it's cool when you were willing to help in that way from the beginning. And then, you know what I'm saying? Like, then climb up, which once again, it doesn't necessarily need to be the agenda. But if there was going to be a person leading it, let it be someone that from down here.
But also from the diaspora,
correct.
Like someone, it's hard to be the first femme, the first queer person, the first Latina, in any space. I'm sure that you have been that more than you wish to admit. Or at least I have.
No, amen. Yeah.
And it's not, like, I will never congratulate someone for being the first ever again.
I know.
I will say, I'm so sorry. How can I hold you?
Like, come on. Right. That's the better thing to tell you. You know what I'm saying? True.
Let me help support you in the ways that might have been rough.
Right.
But I feel so, so grateful that we are able to really take our lived experiences and put it into our practice.
Correct.
I know what you studied in grad school and what I studied in grad school had everything to do with our family stories, what we went through, what our communities have gone through, and, you know, trying to find the skills to support our communities out of this.
Exactly. And it does really help, you know, because like you can definitely learn about it, you know what I mean, and be taught about it, but to have that background is something that, you know, you can't really match, you know, and everything like that. And agreed, it does give you this insight that can't really be replicated. And so I agree. And I definitely feel like, we can empathize in a way that, you know what I mean, not everyone can. But I do love that we definitely have a lot of allies that help push, you know, these things forward. Because if it wasn't for that, I mean, you know what I mean? Like, where would we be if it wasn't for individuals that wanted to help out? But I do agree. And I definitely think that, like, we do live in a world where there are some folks that are battling a lot of different things at once. At once. So when we say intersectionality, I mean, we mean it. You know what I'm saying? Like, we have individuals who, you know, because of that, like, it is very rough for them. And I do think that I love that, you know, we can help with some of that, but it is something that, like, I don't know that everybody understands, you know, just how difficult that really is. Right. You know, in a country like ours.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, no.
Let me tell you a little bit more about like IRTF as a general organization, if you don't mind. So we were founded in 1980 when two women from Cleveland, Jean Donovan, Case Western Reserve alumna, and Dorothy Kazel, an Ursuline sister who had worked at Beaumont High School and John Carroll University, were killed by U.S. trained and funded forces in El Salvador.
Okay, yep.
So people who had been working on Nicaraguan and Chilean refugee issues came together with Catholics, Protestants, Jews, secular folks. We've included Muslims, Hindus, Buddhists, people who don't prescribe to a particular faith in our program as well over these years. But they came together to say, we don't support the U.S. training and funding of militarism, of imperialism, and we're actually wanting to address the root causes of migration so that people don't have to come here if they don't want to. Nobody wants to leave their beautiful home for this really hard living up here if they don't have to, right?
Correct.
But they might because of civil war, they might because of climate change, they might because of extractivism, they might because of machismo, they might because of homophobia. There's so many reasons why people leave. And if we're able to address the root causes, then, people can be, people are so much more supported when they have their community networks around them.
Absolutely.
I'm sure that this is something that you experience with your family too. With my family, like not being able to be in Colombia where they knew their neighbors, where they had, where 50 different cousins could be called upon when you had an emergency, was really, or to celebrate life's
just
joys.
To come together.
And break bread. Like if they didn't have that, then you could see how much more our family struggled. So,
that's true.
I think it's really beautiful that we have this anti-militarist, anti-imperialist root.
I agree.
We know that economic justice, environmental justice, justice for Afro-descendant and indigenous peoples, justice for gender and sexual quote-unquote minorities, that all of these things are needed to create the real beloved community and to really bring about the social justice that we want to see in the world. So I feel grateful that it's an organization that's really intersectional. We have been taking on 72 urgent human rights cases every year since the late 80s.
Wow.
And we support human rights defenders whose lives are under threat or whose family members have been assassinated. And that informs everything that we do. And those relationships that we've had for 45 years, we have so much to learn from. There are people who have gone through what we are going through here now in Turtle Island in North America. And so we have so much to learn from them. And they told us through our relationships, yes, amplify my story. Yes, advocate. And also go back home to the belly of the beast and deal with state violence in your own community, which is why when people are like, why is IRTF focused on Black Lives Matter and supporting the Tamir Rice family and supporting Tanisha's Law, or why does IRTF care about the genocide that's happening in Gaza? Well, it's because it's the same state violence.
Hello.
Whether it's in our backyard or whether it's across the pond or whether it's across Abya Yala, what we call, what Norteños call Turtle Island, the Western Hemisphere. So that's a little bit about what we do, and we focus on popular education, direct action, and mutual aid in our own community, and that core work of supporting human rights defenders is really important to us. And from our founding, we helped refugees, and we have had to do that again at different times in our history, and we'll continue to just help people because we believe in this hospitality.
Come on. And in order to really seek those true things, like you said, be able to get those, to really achieve the right rights and honor them, but also to really seek after the liberation that we actually really do deserve, it needs to come, from this place. And and that's why, as y'all can see, it's, so no brainer to want to support, what you all are doing. But I actually really do appreciate the fact that you see it from those different angles. And I will say that,
so few organizations are willing to admit that.
Correct.
Yeah.
And so, and that's what I especially want to pay homage to, is that it doesn't always happen. And it is Hispanic Heritage Month, and so Latino serving organizations, love them.
Yeah, and there are some that do maybe
incredible
more than
work.
Others too.
Correct.
Or are willing at times to
Absolutely.
really show the breadth and the depth of who we are.
That's all I'm saying. Exactly.
I know you grew up and you also raise your kids with Julia de Burgos.
Oh, yes.
Cultural Center. And we both have been very committed to the Young Latino Network.
Absolutely.
And just feel really grateful that we have this beautiful ecosystem in this community of people who are taking their part, finding their lane, working on their issue areas so that we can all support each other.
Right, because that's how it could be. We are all right. It could be easier.
It could be easier. Yes. We don't have to duplicate every effort.
No, not at all. And I agree. I think that YLN, first of all, that vision is incredible. So I'm always shouting her out. So like I said, if she ever wants to come on,
but she will. Oh, I'm sure.
Thank you. You know what I mean? It's gonna happen one day. It's gonna happen. We're gonna work it out. It's just busy. Is the only thing. That's also what it was. Ours also was a work in the making just to get us here. So listen, y'all are witnessing a miracle.
I'll come back, but it might take a while.
And that's all. That's fine. And I will take that. And it'll be at the perfect time.
Honor.
No, I'm glad. But it's no, absolutely, because this work is important. But and we're all trying to, operate and do these great things. But I definitely think that these great efforts have been made. And I agree. I love that we're not necessarily trying to replicate anything, but we're all trying to help. And we all need to, there's so many people that need help.
Yes.
So it's we don't have to be competing amongst one another. Let's all find ways to do it.
There's possibility for coalition, collaboration.
Correct.
And I think some of our elders, not, hashtag not all of them, but
just so we're
some
clear.
of them have been more territorial.
Yes,
right?
Exactly.
And that's just ain't it. That's not how we're gonna get free.
That's all we're saying. Exactly. No, that part.
Yeah.
That part. And I did find it a bit discouraging. I remember once I went, and not even, I don't even want to name the city and make it seem like it's the city's fault. So I'll just say that I wasn't in Ohio, right?
Great.
And so exactly. And so, and I was meeting an organizer and I was really excited, because I was like, oh, I really want to do this work. But the person was Latina. So she was Latina and she was, saying all the great things she does. But I think I did bring up something about that affected Black people. Mm-hmm. And I do remember the resistance. I was like, oh, that kind of I don't get why we couldn't. It is though. And it was strong, and I just felt wow, I think that there's so much more we could gain, by doing that. And again, is it not a collective struggle, what I mean, that we're facing? And did not the Black Panthers, unite with the Young Lords at one point? We've seen it in
Learn
action.
your history.
Yeah, we've seen it. It's worked out, exactly. And they did capitalize it. They realized that they could maximize their efforts, by uniting together. But no, you'll still see it today. Yeah. You really will.
Anti-Blackness is a huge problem in our community.
Right.
And it's not just our community, and we have, it's a different flavor than what white supremacy's version of anti-Blackness.
Exactly.
But it doesn't mean that it's not wrong.
Right, exactly. At the end of the day, and even like politically speaking, because I know we've thrown the term around, but I know we also get like another term that gets thrown around is of course the radicalism of it all, and some people appreciating that, but other people seeing it as like this like rebel, you know what I mean, move that you're making. But I just think like, okay, if I'm a rebel, you know what I mean, or I'm going against the status quo for wanting to help individuals and like just uplift, you know, basic human rights, then sign me up.
Yeah, fine.
Because then I'm doing it every day. Like I just don't see why that is, you know, wrong work to do. And if not us, then who? You know what I'm saying? Like who not do it, right? Like I'd rather
That's
be part
our spiritual mandate. If not us, then who? If not now, then when? You know, radical just means getting to the root of things. Like that's fine.
Exactly. I'll take that.
Nothing wrong with that. Yeah, Dr. King said like if I'm going to be called an extremist, let me be an extremist for love.
Yes. Yes,
you know,
exactly.
And he wasn't perfect. Nobody is perfect. We all are human beings. We're really messy, but like,
we are.
We have learned our people have learned these lessons.
Yep. Yes.
Let us not keep repeating the same old mistakes.
Right.
I think you wanted to talk a little bit about Latinidad in general. I feel like there's like so much we have to be proud of.
Yep.
With our art, with the way that we eat, with the way that we move, with the way that we speak. You know, we have so much love.
Right.
You know, it's frequently called passion, and I'm not ashamed of that in any way.
No, not at all.
But at the same time, we are not monolith, and that's something that, like, you know, people who say like for the betterment of La Raíz, like. No, we need to really put a line in the sand sometimes and say, like, certain things are not okay.
Yes.
And that includes anti-Blackness. That includes machismo. That includes homophobia.
Correct.
And so, like, that, and I also want people to really, within our community, to be really proud of for some of us, our indigenous heritage.
Correct.
For others of us, our Afro-descendant heritage. Right. For others of us, both.
Yeah, exactly. That part.
And like to really like reestablish our commitment, our obligation to Mother Earth, to Madre Tierra, Pachamama. Like we know what it means to be connected to a place. But since we've been severed from those places in the diaspora, we have to like work twice as hard to reestablish those connections.
That part. Yes, exactly. And there is some intentionality that needs to come around it.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
We would have to seek out those opportunities, but we should.
We should.
Exactly. And we all came from somewhere, y'all. You know what I'm saying? Like, we didn't just appear. So, like, you know, we definitely have roots to something. And so I agree. I think it's awesome that, you know, whenever we can, you know, really acknowledge that. And that's why I think it's really cool. One of the programs that Wyland has is called Raíces, you know what I mean, and all that. And but that's not unique to just them. Because, like we just said, even Planned Parenthood has, like, this...
also, Raíz.
Yes, exactly. So, like, I love that. You know what I mean? Yeah. And again...
Shout out to Claudia. We love Claudia.
Oh, yes, we do. Come on, get it, girl. So, yeah, absolutely. And you know what I mean? We love to see more of the organizing happening. And yes, part of those grassroots efforts is, you know, knocking on doors, you know what I mean? Talking to different individuals, like engaging as many people as you can and, you know, garnering, you know, and developing the sense of support that, yes, does include all of us working together to really, you know, help with that common, you know, goal that we are trying to do. But agreed, like, I definitely think that it goes back to that, you know what I mean? And being able to still have respect for those things. That, I agree. I think they've been... laws deteriorated, but not always like validated or encouraged.
100%.
You know, so like it does make it easier to, you know, reject that.
Well, this society that we're in the North, like it's individualist.
Yes.
It's exceptionalist.
Yes,
you know,
child.
It's about capitalist productivity, all these things, you know, like hierarchies.
Right.
But where we're from, our people are collective by nature.
Yes.
We like the Amazon is not just some wild forest. No. It was cultivated to be an inclusive, sustainable ecosystem.
Naturally.
We know how to work together. Right. We just have to remember sometimes.
Yes, exactly.
And our historical memory is severed from us because of war, because of the violence of, you know, nation states and imperialism.
That part. And so that's why, and I also love that with what you said, I feel like, let's not discredit or discount any opportunity to learn too. That's the other thing. You know what I mean? So sometimes we also act like just because an individual doesn't automatically know, like sometimes they need, they need to learn.
Yeah.
Because
none of us knew everything
at all
that we know right now.
No. Yeah,
Forever.
we definitely, yes. No, that part, and agreed. And I do remember college being my awakening, because I definitely didn't know. And it wasn't until I made Ola, actually, because Ola forced me to then, like, talk to other organizations that were in the areas. And so I was like, oh, wait, there's all this stuff going on. Like, I didn't know that, and I'm so glad that now.
And you were such a beautiful bridge, too, with the African American Student Union.
Oh, thanks, yeah.
And
we were always
loved going to AASU events.
Right.
They were so inclusive and welcoming, and they were always so supportive of our events.
Correct. It was so dope. We did support each other. Yes.
That BIPOC solidarity was really profound.
Yes.
Really profound.
Oh, I'm so glad you brought that. Yeah. And I had forgot. Yep. Because it was, and it's something that now is like entrenched in us now. Like, you know what I mean? It's something that we do. But I agree. It was a beautiful way to see it. And it is something I'm very proud of, but also like it was such a great thing to just enjoy. Yeah. Because it's true. Like
and learn from.
Yes.
Shout out D West.
Yeah. First of all, D West. First of all, when is she going to retire? But just saying.
Although she's still.
No, like still. But like in such a force. I don't know somebody that, because over time, speaking of elders, right? Yeah. We love them all.
Yeah.
Again. But like we said, it's just that sometimes time does like kind of show up in a person. You know what I mean? You just couldn't see it. That's all.
I worry about that in myself.
That's all I'm saying. Exactly. I don't know if I'll always be this sharp. You know what I'm saying? Catch me while you can, y'all. But like
your kids will be like, Mommy.
Exactly. Get me together. For real. But this woman is like, what did you just get better with age? Like, what is that? I don't know what this magic is that she is consuming. But like, no, she's an incredible woman, and agreed. And she was definitely
a mentor to us both.
No,
and
absolutely.
And to so many others.
But exactly, period.
Including like freaking people in politics now.
But right. That's so true. We got some politicians that were in our class. Isn't that weird? I think it's weird.
It's very weird.
It is. It's odd to like see, but it's awesome too.
Yeah.
We do. We have people that have run, you know what I'm saying, for say, you're right. Like I'm thinking about them now.
One, I don't even want to go too far into it. But
right. Yeah. No, but it is really cool. And one that we can now, also one that we also know and love dear though, Alana Bell. We are going to shout out the victory.
That's
though.
Right.
Hello.
That's right.
So Alana Bell was on the show as well, and also is always welcome to come back. Yeah, no, that was awesome. So
yes, I'm part
in
of her
November,
campaign.
We need to do that again. Exactly.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
And it is dope. It's dope to see real, you know what I'm saying, genuine folks.
Yeah.
Because that was always my struggle. I was like, I don't think that's a space I necessarily want to invade. You know what I mean? I think it's hard to stay true to yourself.
Right.
But I don't think
it's so easy to get corrupt there.
Correct.
But like, she's such a real one. I am so excited that we even have a shot at having more than one progressive person on council.
Hello.
We have a whole slate of actual progressives.
We do.
Not just like liberals who like are progressive light, but like actual progressives who believe in like shocking things like healthcare and housing.
What?
And food.
Are you serious? Right. No, but so true. And it was time. Mm-hmm. It was time. It is definitely our time. And that's what's exciting. So I do feel like, 36 was a little terrifying though. I'm glad you named it. You know what I mean? I love that you're also No, but it's unnerving. It was unnerving. I was like, I don't know about this, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we need to go back. But like, agreed. But part of that is exciting. Because now when I see that happening and I'm like, oh, we get to like now be part of like the movements here and we get to see like things, see these things through, that part's exciting. Yeah. And we get to engage with the young people, you know what I'm saying, behind us, even though we're still part of it, okay? I refuse to make it seem like I'm old, you know what I'm saying? Y'all,
I'm in so many interfaith spaces. I'm usually the youngest person.
Okay, so there we go.
And then I go out into the world and I'm like,
actually not.
I'm really not.
That part. But you're right though, like depending on which room you're in, you know what I'm saying? Such a different experience. But agreed, and I love that we can engage those different ones, you know what I'm saying, and continue to help with that and continue to be bridges, you know what I'm saying, as well, because it's true and it's needed. Mm-hmm. But our city deserves it. Our country does too, you know what I mean? So I do love that there are a lot of people that are not giving up because with everything that is going on, it would be easy to. Right. It definitely would be easy to. We don't want you to though.
No, but this is my home now.
Yeah. You know, correct. I'm here.
Like,
yes.
You can, I'm here.
Right. You know what I'm saying? Right.
Not going anywhere.
No.
Like,
and shouldn't
even though I miss my indigenous homeland, I have deep connection to the shores of Lake Erie, and the Cuyahoga River and the people here that I am obligated to, that I love, that I want to see succeed and thrive. People like you and your beautiful, beautiful girls.
The babies.
Like, seriously. Yeah. So, we'll be here to fight as long as we can. Right. Lovingly, of course.
Exactly, that part. And actually, okay, so the only thing is, and you don't have to like share too much about it if you don't want to. I just want to shout out, by the way, speaking of love, is that I never saw a wedding, okay, that was more incredible than the wedding that occurred, okay, here. So like, and I just think it's dope. What I also want to make sure gets said is that I think it's hard to find a partner, you know what I mean, that can, be supportive, when you do this, can be like your home, your safe space, you know what I mean, that like there's no competition either, you know what I mean, there's no egos involved, and just like also just cares about the work. And so like, I definitely think you have an incredible partner, so I just want to shout out Mark. Hey, Mark. But like, that part, but also no, your ceremony. Come on, like, listen.
Thank you.
Yeah, I just want to make sure that got said. Because like, if y'all want to talk about like a beautiful blend, you know what I mean? Like culturally, faith-wise, like all of these amazing things. Like I just was like, it was just incredible, And so like, and we were the type of people that did not look at the address. So we were late that day because we were doing the most. And so like, I had went from my beautiful person, Dawn, they had did this incredible exhibition. And so like, honoring LGBT, you know what I mean? Advocates in the community and all this stuff. No, Dawn. So I know Dawn Moss. Dawn Moss is a graduate from digital arts.
Amazing.
Yes, young person. And so
we
like,
love to shout out people. Give everybody their flowers.
Exactly.
Here.
But yes, and then got the opportunity through being at the LGBT Center. And so like, it was a really, really cool opportunity that they got to do. And it was amazing. But it was the same day. But thankfully there was Zoom. We have technology.
I'm an organizer.
Yes. No. So I was like, first of all, the fact that you thought of everything was great.
I have disabled friends who I know won't be able to make it, and I have family in Colombia that couldn't get visas. No, so I had to, it had to be.
Yeah, but come on, accessibility. So like, no, but it was great, and it was awesome, the girls. My girls did love seeing that, you know what I mean? And just seeing that beautiful, like just demonstration of love, you know what I mean? But it was just, it was
a love letter to the community.
Yeah.
It was like, we included the Zapatista principles.
Come on.
And we talked about like communal vows, like what does it mean to be supportive of to be part of a village?
Yes.
Our reflections on love were like James Baldwin and Audre Lorde and Bell Hooks.
Yes, that's right. That's right.
Our saints.
Yep.
And it was really special. It means a lot that you were part of it and that the girls were part of it.
Yes. We weren't gonna miss that. We were like, we're gonna make it no matter what. And then but even that was, everything was thoughtful. Everything was so thoughtful. Even the after party, y'all was lit, okay? This wasn't just a reception, you know what I mean? Like there was, and even the space that you were all on. I mean, that's what I was like, I just don't understand. Like everything was so mind-blowingly heartwarming though.
Thank
you. Know? Yes, and soul-serving. And I just feel like, that was amazing. But it's such a great reflection of your incredible work and your heart.
Thank you.
Absolutely. And I just think,
we finally decided to have a ceremony because my father died a year and a half ago. And it was really sudden and, unexpected. And he was such a rock for me, like one of my favorite strategists. He was a really introverted person, but he had a really beautiful mind.
Right.
And he was the one who like learned all of my family's like indigenous practices and taught them to me, even though like he was a sort of doula in that way.
That's
and
awesome.
After his death, I just realized like I wanted to have something celebratory to like bring my chosen family together, and getting to do that was such a gift.
Oh, that part. I know. And then, and I absolutely like, so sorry, you know what I'm saying, that he wasn't necessarily there physically.
But he was there in spirit.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I just think that, and that's that time of the essence thing that we even opened with, right? Like how pandemic, you know what I'm saying? We didn't even realize it was going to rob us.
Yeah, I didn't want anyone else to be missing from the ceremony.
Right.
So I was like, okay.
We're going to do this.
We're going to.
Yeah. No, but I love that, and it's true. And it was an amazing thing. So that's why I'm like, I'm so glad, that came together so beautifully. And I just think that like, it's no accident, you know what I mean? Because there were so many great people there that, so many lives that y'all had touched that were in that that room. You know what I mean? So many people that we're seeing. So like, no, I just think like
it was really cool. I've had a lot of people be like, "Wow, that was a who's who of like progressive Cleveland."
Yeah,
like,
all in a space. It was,
you know, BLM and
exactly.
You know, Planned Parenthood and Cleveland Jewish Collective, Jewish Voice for Peace, the Palestinian Advocacy Community, the Committee of 500 Years of Dignity and Resistance, like OPAL, the AAPI Feminist Leadership Org. Everybody was there.
They were. That's why I'm telling you how incredible it was. Exactly. So talk about coalition. You know what I mean? Like all in the under one roof. Yeah, no, I agree. That's why I was just like, it was a lot in such a good way. That's what I mean. So like, absolutely, it was moving. It was definitely moving, and like we said, like definitely touching. But it was awesome to see all those great individuals and like, and again, all this great work. You know what I mean? Like, and all this great history. Yeah. All up under one room as well. So like, no, it was definitely incredible.
I mean, for the first, I've been at IRTF almost 13 years. Wow. So like, I always put the movement first. Yep. And this was just like one moment to like really be a little more insular and just like take care of myself and my people for a moment. Just have a breath of like joy in the midst of, you know, so much pain and suffering. Like we will always be a part of a glorious struggle, and hopefully that is, you know, for a beloved community for most of us, but we still have to break bread. We still have to find ways to celebrate. Radical like joy and rest is only beautiful and useful and necessary if it's going to nourish you to continue to take care of each other.
Hello. Okay. Whole word right there. But agreed. You know what I'm saying? Deep breath on that too. But like deep sighs. But true. You know what I mean? Absolutely. And actually putting the movement first. You're an embodiment of that. Absolutely. So I agree.
Thank you.
Right. And so I did love to see like just the joy, just the smiles, just, you know, people being able to unwind. Yes. Hello. Come on, the dancing as well.
And I love too that you noticed, you weren't the only person that noticed that we had like non-substance options for the after party, you know, like that we had like, you know, basketball and ice hockey and pool tables and stuff like that. That was like really sweet because it was an intergenerational after party. Like people could just keep like vibing at whatever level.
Yes. And they could just be. And so that's why that was like part of my thought process behind my little business that I started, the power to be. Because sometimes like, no, it's not performing.
I love that.
Yeah, it's not always performing. It's not always doing. Like sometimes I just want you to be.
It's just existence.
Yes.
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 The Hondurans and Palestinians, they teach us existence is resistance.
Come on.
Yeah.
Exactly. And so that's why I love it. But I am curious though, like, so are there ways that you are still taking care of yourself in the midst of this work? And like advice for others? I don't know. We figuring it out, right?
I try to. I try to. I feel very lucky to get to be generally in charge of my schedule.
You're right.
That makes a huge difference.
Absolutely.
Because we don't all work in the same way.
Come on.
You know, and so assuming that everyone is like gonna go with their suit and tie into an office from 7 to 3 or 9 to 5 or whatever. Yep. It's not realistic.
Not at all.
But for me, like some people really want work-life balance and like separate.
Yep.
For me, I want work-life balance that like I'm doing a load of laundry in between a meeting.
Right.
Like,
right.
Like living is part of the work. Raising kids is part of the work.
That part.
Taking care of our elders, that's part of the work.
Right.
So I need to prioritize that, and grieving is part of the work. I need to prioritize that just as much as the administrative report, you know?
Hello? Yes.
And so being able to find like a rhythm that works for your body, that works for your nervous system, that works for whatever chronic health issues that you might have, that works for your like own neuro like specificities, then like that's what we need.
Correct.
So I worked all weekend.
Oh no.
And I do that a lot.
Yeah.
But I always try and find like days during the week where my load is lighter. Like yesterday I was just like, hey, can we meet tomorrow so that I can just have a little bit of a slower day?
Absolutely.
And that is like that sort of fluidity is really helpful for me.
Gosh, yes, yes. And find those times, you know what I mean? So like you said, it's simple ways too, to be able to like, but incorporate it and take it, you know, please don't let it pass you by. You know what I mean? So like, and don't overwork yourself, you know, go past the point of exhaustion, you know what I mean? There's no need. But finding that balance, because it is hard, especially when you're starting off and wanting to do all of the things.
Right.
But
right.
No, yeah. And it's like, but we can't. We cannot like save everyone. We can't do everything. No. And we cannot lose ourselves, you know what I mean, in the midst of doing that.
Yeah.
You know, so I do love hearing that, you know, we're finding that still, you know what I mean, and we're learning to own it. And so my final question would be, because I keep you here all day, I love it, is that like, is there anything on the horizon, you know what I mean?
Always.
Other things that are coming, I'm sure.
Always,
But anything that you could share, you know what I'm saying, with us or like, you know, with you and with everything.
Yeah. If people want to plug into some public work, I would check out the Ohio Immigrant Alliance and Jobs with Justice and the Northeast Ohio Worker Center. They're all involved in different migrant accompaniment work that we are supporting.
Beautiful.
So court watching, stuff like that. We're going to be having an economic justice teach-in and Fair Trade Expo at John Carroll University on October 4th, and it's free. It's usually like 9:30 to 2:30 or something like that.
Yep.
And it should be really lovely, a great way to connect with people. Just, you know, go out and meet your neighbors. That would be really important.
Hello, right. Would be nice.
I know it's hard. We're all really isolated. We're all really online, you know, and people are afraid, and that's understandable. But try and push yourself to like, sometimes it's easier to like, get dinner for someone that I love than to do it for myself, right?
Yep.
And so if I can just like trick my mind into being like, well, I have to do this because I offered it already. I committed to Melissa, you know?
Naturally.
Like it makes it more joyful for me to do, right?
Absolutely.
And so whatever you need to do to like get your brain to like get the good dopamine for taking care of yourself or the people that are responsible for or to, then do that. The thing that I really, really, really want to highlight, November 9th, Sunday, at Pilgrim UCC in Tremont, we are going to be hosting Salvadoran human rights defenders.
Okay.
For our, 45th annual commemoration of the martyrs.
Wow.
And so we'll be like highlighting our human rights casework for the year, and we'll be dancing and eating and learning, and we would love for people to come to that and find us on every platform at IRTF Cleveland.
Yes.
Or irtfcleveland.org is our website. All of our event information will be there.
Please.
Just, you know, we'll see you in the streets.
Absolutely. Come on now. But you also know that you also hear during Hispanic Heritage Month, and always, you know what I mean? That, you know, if you also want to, you know, like donate, you know what I mean, to certain organizations, I mean, by all means.
Yes,
we will not say no. Exactly, like, please consider.
We do not take government funding or corporate grants, so we are really grassroots funded.
Let's go.
Like 80% of our donations are less than $50 a year.
Wow.
Like, just really loving people who want to see the work continue. So
gosh, I love that. Yeah. Wow, that's actually one part that I did not, I mean, I should have realized because of everything else, but man, but just the magnitude of it is what I think I just sat with. I was like, wow, because that really means that people, you know what I mean, coming together to support this, and that's the only way to grow it forward.
Yeah.
Wow. So be a part of that, y'all. You know what I mean? So like, definitely. Yeah, absolutely. And so with that being said, thank you. You know what I mean? Like,
muchísimas gracias.
Yes, amen. Because I'm telling you, like, it was so much, you know what I mean, that I like gained. Y'all better. You know what I'm saying? Like, I hope you did too. But it's just that, no, it was definitely like an incredible honor to have you. You know what I mean? Such a pleasure.
Always a pleasure and an honor to collaborate with you.
Yay. Oh, but thank you. Oh, man. So, like, let's do it again. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And not just here. You know what I'm saying? We're going to do it in our events.
Everywhere.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
All of that. But thank you so very much. Definitely for coming on. You know what I'm saying? For everything that you imparted upon us. And definitely thank y'all. You know what I mean? For, like, tuning in, for listening. But please reach out. You know what I mean? If you definitely, please are encouraged by any of that, want to know more about that. And obviously, as you heard, volunteers are welcome. You know what I mean? With some of this, we can't just work alone.
Yes.
So, like, no, definitely, like, you know, feel free to, like, connect any way you can. and just reach out. You know, if it's just that you're trying to start something, whatever it is you do, but feel encouraged, supported, and know that there is community out there.
Yeah, we love to help organizations get off the ground.
Yes.
We've co-founded the Fair Trade Network, Cleveland Pandemic Response, the Workers Center of Northeast Ohio. So if you have an idea for a project that especially a movement organization, we would love to be supportive.
Let's go. So yes, so definitely tap in, y'all, connect. Feel free to definitely, you know, do whatever you can so we can move that. So yes. So thank y'all. And
Thank you.
Thank y'all.